Brandon Moreno taking on Amir Albazi, UFC Fight Night, Edmonton. 5-round main event with title implications on the line. The winner of this matchup is going to fight Alexander Pantoja or Kai Asakura. Absolutely fire matchup in the main event. It's a decent card overall, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know. I haven't been too interested in UFC fights lately, ever since my boy Bless got done dirty like that. Life has been gray. Haven't really been talking to the wife much. I was trying to call my boss to see if I could get some time off. He deaded it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
man,
man. For the first time in a long time, I really don't want to see any fights this weekend. I'm not ready mentally, but we gotta get into it, man. This is the game. This is the game that we love. It's a dangerous game, man.
yeah, man. This is why I'm a John Jones fan. My boy E's always picking on me. You like John Jones, but hey, man, I like guys that be winning fights, bro. I don't have to go through the pain of seeing them get knocked out or choked out. But moving on, man. First
Shout out
fight
to
of the
Khabib.
night. For fact, shout out to Habib and John Jones, man. Unblemished. But moving on to the first fight of the night. Jamie Lynn Horth, Canada's finest, taking on the Croatian sensation, Ivana Petrovic. Jamie Lynn coming in as a minus 200 favorite in this one, but Petrovic, a lot of the hardcores are backing Petrovic. There's a lot of money coming in on Petrovic out of nowhere. So some of the hardcores think Petrovic got this in the bag. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, man. Starting off the night with a couple of shorties. Pretty close matchup in this one. Similar records for both these girls. Jamie Lynn Hoare, 34 years old, coming off a split decision L to Veronica Hardy. Shout out to Dan Hardy for being the ultimate coach. She's a tough cookie. On the other side, Ivana Petrovic. I don't think that's her nickname, the Croatian sensation. But we're gonna go with it. 30 years old. She's coming off a submission victory to Liang Na, who's been on a losing skid. And before that, she lost to Luana Carolina, who's a UFC vet. I don't typically go with the older fighter, but in this one, I'm gonna have to make an exception. I like the hometown chick in this one, Jamie Lynn. I think she's fought better competition, so I'm gonna have to go with the Canadian winning this in a decision victory.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go with Ivana Petrovic in this matchup. Jamie Lynn, she's not a bad fighter. She's okay at grappling. She's okay at stand up. Overall, she's just an okay fighter. Petrovic, on the other hand, I don't know if her grappling's all that, but on the feet, man, she's a killer, man. And most people from Croatia are, man. Look at Mirko Krokrap. Look at Alexander Rakic. These guys can throw heavy leg kicks. They can throw heavy kicks in general. You people from Croatia got the kicks on deck. I'm gonna go with Petrovic in a slight as the slight underdog. I think she gets the upset victory. I think she's gonna piece her up on the feet for 3 rounds. But hey, man, with women's MMA, it's always a coin flip, regardless of the odds. You just never know. Moving on to the next fight of the night, we have highlighting Canada tonight. We have Canada's Chad and Helier taking on Cody Gibson in the bantamweight division. Cody Gibson coming in as nearly two minus 200 favorite. Both fighters are 37 years of age. At 135, that is the death touch. But both of them are 37. So somebody's gonna have to get a W in this one. What do you think, E?
Somebody gonna have to win or risk getting cut from the UFC, man. I call this one the battle of the 37-year-olds, man. Cody Gibson coming off a submission victory over Brian Kelleher. He was also a finalist on Tough when it was Chandler and McGregor. So Cody Gibson coming in hot. He ended up losing to Brad Katona in the finale, who put on a great performance against my guy Gene Matsumoto. Currently 1-2 since joining the UFC. On the other side, Chad and Helliger on the other side is 2-2 in the UFC. He does have a notable win over Muin Gafurov on the Contender Series, who's like the fattest combat sambo master of all time. He's like the funniest dude. I'm guessing the loser of this fight is probably gonna get cut. These dudes about to throw down. Anytime these guys come in fighting for their lives or fighting for their money, they're gonna throw it down. Kind of hard to predict, but I'm gonna have to go with the favorite in this one, Cody Gibson, getting this done. I think he might even get this win by submission.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with you, and that's a nice call out by you. I do see a clear advantage Cody Gibson does have is the grappling. I do think the jiu-jitsu is a clear advantage for Cody Gibson, and I'm gonna have to agree with you again that I think that Cody Gibson will get this done by submission. It's a loser leaves town kind of fight, so in the first round is going to be intense. Both guys are going to come in. They're going to want to keep their job, but there's a clear edge in one of the areas of the martial arts, and that is the grappling. Cody Gibson, I think he'll get it done by submission. Moving on to the next fight of the night, we have Serhi Siddi taking on Garrett Armfield. Sidney coming in as a minus 165 favorite. Who you got in this matchup, E?
Yeah, man. Sidney is a beast from Ukraine, even though he's 0-1 in the UFC, technically, but he could have easily been 1-0. I think the dude that he fought him twice. He beat him, he knocked him out in the contender series, but that was an early finish. They ran it back in the UFC, and then Ramon Tavares, that's what his name was. He got a slight edge. He could have went either way. It was a very close matchup. So Sidney, he's nice, man. He's tough. On the other side, Garrett Armfield, who's probably fought much better competition in my opinion. He does have a win over Brad Katona, and has fought the likes of David Onama, Brady Highstand, even though he got submitted by both those guys. Prediction for this fight, I'm gonna have to go with the Ukrainian man, the Ukrainian prospect getting this done via submission, huh? He's never been finished before. Meanwhile, Garrett Onfield has gotten submitted by Onama and Highstand. I think that's a good path to victory for my guy City. Can't really
Yeah,
pronounce his
man.
first name.
I'm gonna have to agree. I do think City is gonna win this matchup, but I don't think he'll get a finish. Garrett Armfield's tough. I do think Garrett Armfield is susceptible to submissions, but City's ground game isn't crazy like that. But if there is any way that City can get it done by finish, I think he can knock out Garrett Armfield. But I don't see a knockout happening in this matchup. I think City wins a decision. He'll try to mix up the grappling to get Garrett Armfield thinking and then piece him up on the feet. Clear 30-27 or 29-28. This unanimous decision victory for City. Moving on to the next matchup. We have heavyweights, the big boys, the meatballs coming in. We got Alexander King
Biggie
Kong
hooks.
Romanov taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Both guys are killers, man. Romanov, I seen him put his forearm on a dude's neck and completely almost kill the man on live TV one time with that choke. And Nascimento, man, he's an overall decent fighter, man. He throws heavy leg kicks. He almost got knocked out by a flying knee by Derek Lewis, but hey, man, we're not gonna talk about that. Nascimento is a good fighter, man. He has good, decent grappling for the heavyweight division. He's a decent striker, and his chin's solid, man. He ate a flying knee from the Black Beast himself, man. Who you got in this matchup, E? Near even
Yeah, man.
money on this
Both.
one.
Yeah, this is a pretty even fight. Both these guys are BJJ guys. 6'2" heavyweights. Romanov is from Moldova. Rodrigo Nascimento from Brazil. Um, Romanov is coming off his first submission L to Jailton Almeida and is currently 1-3 in his last four fights. I'm not really liking that. On the other side, Rodrigo Nascimento coming in off a knockout loss to the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, who's going to be fighting later on this card. I think his chin is very suspect. So if Alexander is able to land clean, he can shut Nascimento's lights out. But Nascimento also has that power, man, as do most heavyweights. For my prediction, I'm gonna have to go with Rodrigo Nascimento to win this via decision. I thought he was beating Black Beast Derek Lewis up until he got rocked. Romanov has been on a losing skid. I don't like that. So I'm gonna have to go with Nascimento getting this done, man. I'm not confident taking Romanov in this one, even though he's a beast.
Yeah, man, Nascimento in every fight he has, he's never really outclassed like that. He's always able to compete with whoever you throw him in there with. He's not really getting blown out. He has his moments in every fight that he's in, even if he loses. But he's having such close fights with Dontel Mays, Ilir Latifi, Tanner Bozer, split decisions, nearly to pick 'em fights to the judges. It's not really too convincing for me. I'm gonna have to go with Romanov because hey man, outclassed like that, he's always able to compete with whoever you throw. And we've seen Romanov lose to the ranked heavyweights, but when he fights the heavyweights that aren't ranked, it's complete destruction. He's finishing these dudes by submission. So I'm gonna have to go with Romanov. I don't know if he'll get that submission because Nascimento does train at American Top Team. He has an elite camp behind him. I don't see him getting submitted, but I think Romanov is gonna take him down and maybe win a boring decision. Moving on to the next one. I'm very excited about this one, man. We got my boy Yusuf Zalal taking on Jack Shore in the featherweight division. I'm very high on Zalal, man. He fought Ilya Toptoro in his debut and took it to honestly, he did better against Ilya than everybody Ilya's fought outside of Volkanovski. Yusuf Zalal
And Josh
probably did the
Emmett.
best. Josh Emmett had no moments. He got fucked up for 5 rounds.
I guess it's a victory when you don't get finished. Because Yusuf Zalal and
No, but
uh
Yusuf Zalal,
Josh Emmett didn't get
two of
finished.
the judges had it 29-28, or one of the judges had it 29-28. So, you know what I'm saying? He didn't
Hmm.
really he
I
lost
already know. I
he
already
got
know.
beat up, but Yusuf Zalal is a beast, man. The
Yes,
Moroccan
sir.
Devil himself. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Jack Shore is 3-2 in his last five. He lost his last fight by KO, doctor stoppage. to Joe Anderson Brito. And as we all know on this channel, we've been highlighting for a minute. Joe Anderson Brito is a stud, man. He
Stud.
might be unranked. He might have lost his last fight, but he's an absolute killer. Who you
Could
got
have
in this
won that one
matchup?
too. Could have won that fight too. Yeah,
Yeah,
high level featherweight bout right here. My guy Yusuf Zalal, man. I've been watching this dude for a minute. I seen it. Ilya Taporia's debut against Yusuf Zalal. Tough matchup. That's when I knew Ilya was gonna be a future champion, man. If he beat Zalal the way he did, and Zalal did his thing. 2-0 in the since re-signing with the UFC. I was watching this dude back in 2020. He was fighting on all the Apex cards back then. Dude was hot before too, and then ran into the future featherweight GOAT. Like I said, Ilya Tapsuro. One of the few guys that Ilya could not finish. This kid has heart. He got game. And he's dating. Who's he dating? He dated some chick too, some fighter.
Macy Barber.
Come on, man. Dude's winning in life, bro. Let's talk about Jack Shore, though. Undefeated, man. He was undefeated before he ran into Ricky Simone and got submitted. Then he went on to submit Makwan Amerikani, who's
A bum.
uh, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. And then he got brutally knocked out by Joe Anderson Brito, like you said. So tough stretch from my guy Jack Shore from Wales. So I'm not confident taking him, man. After being undefeated for so long and then just taking those L's, I'm not sure where his confidence is. I'm gonna have to take Yusuf Zalal, man. I'm
Jack
sure this
Shore is
was,
coming in with a lot of grappling though.
and
Grappling
so is Yusuf.
background.
So is Zalal, man. Zalal is nice with it too. So this is gonna be a good matchup.
Zalal's mainly a stand-up fighter though. Background is kickboxing.
He got a ton of submissions on his record,
He
man.
do.
I
He's
think he
feisty on the
yeah,
ground, man.
he
He's
got a ton
feisty
of
on the
submissions
ground.
on his record. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna have to. I
He's
think
coming off three straight submission victories,
I'm
Zalal.
calling a submission victory for Yusuf Zalal, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Yusuf Zalal clearly shown after that Topuria loss that got him cut from the UFC that he's made it a clear point to improve his game, overall game. He's leveled up on the submissions. He's leveled up on the takedown defense. He's leveled up his grappling overall in every aspect. He's looking like a much more complete fighter. His stand-ups already always been really crisp and solid. Yusuf Zalal, I think it's his time right now. I think we're about to see the Yusuf Zalal run in the 45-pound division. I don't know if he'll make it to the top five. I don't know if he'll do any of that, but I do know Yusuf Zalal is
He
gonna
could
get he's gonna get a ranked opponent in his next fight.
top
That's what
ten
I
for
do
sure.
know.
Top 10 for sure.
If he wins this fight, I think he's getting a ranked opponent. I'm going Yusuf Zalal. I don't see a submission. Jack Shore does have he has really good grappling, man. I really don't see a submission coming for Yusuf Zalal. I do think he'll get it done by decision. Moving on to the prelim main. No, I'm sorry, that's not the prelim main. But moving on to the next matchup, we have the French Canadian himself, just like my boy GSP, Charles Jourdain, taking on Victor Henry. Jourdain moving down from 45 to 135. I don't know how much I like that because at 45, Jourdain was already big. He's moving down to even smaller weight class. It's near even money. Victor Henry is a slight favorite over Jourdain, but is nearly even. Jourdain coming off two losses. He lost that split decision to Sean Woodson, who's like 6'7" at the 145-pound decision. And then he lost by KO to Gene Silva, man. But we all know Gene Silva, yo,
Kill him.
he might be the next champ. He might fight for the title. Who knows what Gene Silva's gonna be, but we do know he's a killer. On the other side, Victor Henry, he's a good fighter, but he doesn't have any elite wins. Tony Gravely was a good win. He had that split decision over Tony Gravely. Gravely's a freaking stud. He's a beast, elite grappling, a lot of power. It's a toss-up fight to me as well, man. I'm gonna have to agree with the odds. I do think it's a pretty even fight. I'm gonna have to go with Jourdain, man. I like Jourdain. That's why I'm going with him. But it's an even fight. You could go either way on this one. I'm going Jourdain by decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Victor Henry is a solid fighter. Even though he's 37 years old, I don't like to move down from featherweight for Charles Jourdain, man. Moving down to bantamweight, I don't know where his confidence is after running into Gene Silva, who's a straight up killer. Like you said, knocked him out in the second round. Then he lost a split decision to Sean Woodson, the lanky dude. So I know he really needs a
Yeah,
win
you know
here,
what?
but
Actually, I'm gonna change my pick
nah,
mid-video. No, I'm just playing. I'm
stick
just
to your
playing. I'm just
guns,
playing.
boy.
I'm just playing. I'm
Like
just
you said,
playing.
man, this is a very tough fight to predict. The only reason, and that's probably one of the reasons I'm disagreeing with you. I think Victor Henry could get it done, but it could go either way, man. I'm gonna have to go with the veteran. I'm gonna have to go with the veteran. I think Charles Jourdain might be cutting too much weight. I'm a little worried about this move. Very iffy, very unsure. That's why I'm gonna have to stick to a safe pick. Go Victor Henry. Let's get it done, baby. 37
Yeah,
years old.
man.
He's
There's like
still
a
kicking.
99% chance that Charles Jourdain is gonna get knocked out in this fight because he got knocked out 3 months ago. He's cutting down to 135 all of a sudden. But I just fuck with Charles Jourdain, man. I like his swag, I like his style, and I want to see him win, man. So I'm gonna go with Charles Jourdain. But he got knocked out about 3 months, almost 4 months ago only, and he's coming back and he's moving down a weight class, cut an extra 10 pounds after he just got knocked out. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your body. So knockout potential is there. Victor Henry could knock Charles Jourdain out. We could see that, and I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm gonna have to. I'm sticking with Jourdain, man. That's my guy. Moving on to the next matchup. I know he's gonna be paying real attention to this one. We got Ariane Lipski taking on Jasmine Juice the Vicious. This is a
Yes,
banger
sir.
fight, man. Lipski, she's vicious on the feet, man. She's very feisty on the feet. She throws a lot on the feet. Her grappling isn't anything
Listen,
of note.
she's no longer Lipski. She's De Silva. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ariane De Silva. My bad. My bad. Queen of
All I'm saying is
Violence.
I'm a root for her. I'm rooting for her, man. She's a cutie.
Yeah, man. Queen of Violence coming in as a plus 170 underdog. Jasmine as the minus 205 favorite. Jasmine also in her home country. She's going to have the crowd behind her. Jasmine has the edge in grappling. Lipski has the edge in striking. Striking versus grappling. We always know how that ends up going most of the
Sure.
time. So I'm going to go Jasmine by decision in this one.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. Jasmine Jasuda Vicious is a beast. I am rooting for Ariane De Silva. I think, I love her, but I don't think she's on Jasmine's level. Jasmine has only lost to high level fighters, and she's never been finished before. So I don't see that happening. I'm gonna have to go with the favor in this one. Decision victory for Jasmine Jasuda Vicious.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Moving on to the next matchup, we have our boy Amin Zahabi taking on our other boy, Pedro, the young Punisher Munoz. I love both of these guys, especially Pedro. Pedro comes to bang, but Pedro is has one no contest, one victory, and three losses in his last five. It's clearly the end of his career. He's been in the UFC forever. He's 38 years old at 135 pounds. I'm gonna be honest, man. Amin Zahabi is also 36. He's old, but he does not have nearly as much mileage as Pedro Munoz. Munoz is he's at that Tyron Woodley stage, man. Once you start losing, you just get afraid to pull that trigger, man. These older fighters, they get trigger hesitant. They're very hesitant to pull that trigger. They don't want to get knocked out. And then they end up just getting beat up by everybody they fight and lose decisions. So I'm going Amin Zahabi. I got Amin Zahabi by unanimous decision in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, Amy Zahabi, Ariel Hawani, I've never seen them in the
In
same
the
room at
same
the
room,
same
yeah, man.
time.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised he got that decision victory over Javid Basharat, man. That was very surprising. And he knocked out Aurichi Lang before that. So he's coming in hot. He's
He's
coming in
coming in
hot.
super hot, 4 fight win
On
streak in
fire. On
UFC.
fire, yeah. Pedro Munoz, like you said, man, I feel like he's been losing a step as of late.
He's on the end of
And
this road.
he's also, I mean, to be fair, he's also fighting the best of the best. Jose Aldo, Sean O'Malley, Dominic Cruz.
But
I'm gonna
he
even
got
throw
shut
Kyler
down by
Phillips in there.
Kyler Phillips. And we saw what Kyler Phillips looked
I'm
like.
gonna throw, but Kyler Phillips comes out hot in that first round. So, both these fighters, like you said, older side, and the fight odds are pretty even. But I'm gonna have to go with Ayman Zahabi, Ariel Hawani, whatever you want to call him. I feel like Pedro Muniz's best days are definitely behind him. So, kind of an easy pick, unanimous decision.
Yep. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Dana White privilege himself, Mike Malott, taking on our boy Trevin Giles. Yo, man, Dana White thought they had another GSP. They was like, "Oh, Mike Malott got to win. Give him Neil Magny."
Give him
He
Neil
got
Magny. They
completely
done
shut
messed up,
down.
man.
Got completely shut down against Magny, completely fraud check. He let Magny got a TKO victory over this boy. Mike Malott does pack a lot of heat on his punches. He's very aggressive. He's not old. He's 32 years old. He's in his relative prime. 6'1" for the 170-pound division is very tall. He's taking on Trevin Giles, who's coming down from middleweight. Trevin Giles is kind of on that Kevin Holland path. He goes to 185, fights there, fights at 170, wherever he could get fights. Trevin Giles, common theme in his fights. No matter he even fought Dricus Duplessis and was piecing up DDP. Trevin Giles is technically sound, but he's very chinny. He always ends up getting caught somehow with a knockout, or he's very susceptible to even getting finishes by submissions. So I'm gonna go with Mike Malott by KO. I think it's a setup fight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Trevin Giles coming in 2 fight losing skid, but to be fair, he's losing to some of the best fighters in the world, man. Gabriel Bonfim,
Bonfim's a
solid,
stud.
solid fighter, solid fighter. Carlos
Prates,
Prates, that's my guy. That's my guy. And then he fought DDP, and then the undefeated Mike Morales, bro. Straight killers, man. Straight killers. But to be fair, Mike Malott, Dana White privilege himself. they set I, they set him up, man. They set him up against Neil Magny, the ultimate gatekeeper, Neil Magny. And that was at his at his hometown in Canada. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Mike Malott getting the victory in this one, man. I think they're setting him up with the losing fighter. A fighter that's kind of lost his step a little bit. So I think he's gonna be able to use his wrestling to win a few rounds. Probably win a 29-28 decision victory. Something like
yep, we're in agreement. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Canada's powerhouse Marc Andre Barriault taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. Barriault, man, he's an absolute power fighter, man. You know he fights like he has power. He does KO a lot of the opponents that he gets victories over. I'm gonna go with Marc Andre Barriault. I feel like it's a setup fight. Stolfus has been KO'd in the past. I'm gonna go Marc Andre Barriault by KO. It's definitely a layup for him. It's in Canada, his hometown. I have no faith in Stolfus, but what do you think?
I'm gonna have to disagree, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, this fight, I'm just gonna preface this fight is very close, very even. Honestly, it's a coin toss, if you will. Marc Andre Barrios is coming into this one on a two-fight losing skid, losing to Joe Pyfer, losing to Chris Curtis, and then Dustin Stoltzfus, who recently got finished by Bruno Fajeda, and we know how he is in the first round. He's a beast. Dustin Stoltzfus does have a knockout victory over Joe Pyfer. You know what I'm saying? MMA math doesn't always make sense, but sometimes it does. So this should be a good striking battle and could possibly be the fight of the night. My prediction, I'm gonna have to go with Dustin Stoltzfus. I think he's gonna utilize his grappling and wrestling to win a few rounds here and there, and I think he's gonna win this by decision. Both these guys coming off a knockout loss, and I think there might be some timidness on the feet, so they're gonna use the wrestling, kind of a boring decision, something like. I might have to
Yeah,
go with
man,
Dustin
I don't
Stoltzfus.
see that happening. Marc Andre, he don't give a shit, man. He kind of fights like he doesn't have that big of a. He doesn't fight like he has high IQ. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be thinking of that knockout loss. He's just gonna try to get the knockout. But you are right. Stolfus did have that slam victory over Joe Pyfer. He got injured off that slam. I completely forgot about that. But hey, man, it wasn't like a legit like he didn't outclass Joe Pyfer. He kind of just slammed him, and Joe Pyfer couldn't continue after that. But hey, man, he did slam him, and that's what got him the win. So a win is a win. But I'm standing with my gun, man. I'm going with Marc Andre Barrio, and I think he's winning by knockout.
I
Moving
like it.
on to the next fight, we have Caio Machado taking on Brenson Ribeiro in the light heavyweight division. 6'4" versus 6'3", 81-inch reach versus 78-inch reach for Kyle. Nearly even odds. Kyle's the minus 165 slight favorite over Ribeiro. Who you got in this matchup?
Who I got,
Brazil
man.
taking on Brazil.
Yeah, these light heavyweights about to throw it down. So both these guys coming into this fight on a two-fight losing streak. I'm pretty sure the loser of this one is probably gonna get cut, gonna go home jobless, and no win bonus. Both these fighters got their contracts from the Contender Series. I'm gonna have to go with Caio Machado to win this one, man. The dude has never been finished before. Meanwhile, Brenson Ribeiro got knocked out in February, earlier this year, and then lost a majority decision after that. I still think this fight can go either way. It's a coin flip. I'm gonna have to go with Kyle Machado to win this by TKO.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm going with Kyle Machado as well in this matchup. I don't really see a finish. Brenson Ribeiro is really dangerous. In the fights that he did win, they're usually by knockout. He's extremely heavy-handed. But he's light in the ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's very light in the ass for the light heavyweight division. He's skinny. He don't have that big. He's not big like these other light. Kyle Machado's a big, meaty light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I think Kyle got this matchup. But hey, man, crazier things have happened in the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division. Those divisions is coin flip matchups pretty much every time, regardless of what background, regardless of what skill level. Because if you land big, it could be over, man. Moving on, we have one of my favorite fighters, the OG, Derek the Black Beast. My balls was hot. Lewis taking on Jante Diniz. Yo, they always stay giving Derek Lewis the tough guys that nobody wants to fight. Diniz coming off the Contender Series, man. He's an absolute killer. He's knocking out everybody in his career. He's just coming off a decision win over Carl Williams. Black Beast, man. He's coming off that victory over Nascimento when he threw that flying knee and then KO'd him with ground and pound. Black Beast said he's in shape, but he says that every time he loses his next fight, he's like, "I've been finally training serious, guys. I think I'm a better fighter, and I got another couple years." And then the same every time he fights an elite guy, he loses. So I don't know, man. What do you think about this matchup, E?
Like you said, man, anytime he fights someone elite, and in my opinion, I do think Jonata Diniz is elite, man. First off, how they even let Derek Lewis into Canada, man? Who let that? Who allowed that? That's one thing I want to know. I'm gonna have to go with the Contender Series heavyweight, man. All these heavyweights coming into the Contender Series are all nice because the current UFC heavyweight roster, I'm gonna be honest, man, they kind of suck. They're fat dudes,
Yeah.
out of shape, and then if you're decently in mid shape, you're a top 10, top five fighter. So I like Jonata Diniz in this one, even though Derek Lewis can put anybody's lights out. These new young dudes, man, they're coming to take over. They're not playing no games. That being said, are we really looking over the knockout king, Derek Lewis? I think he could put anybody's lights out. He's only losing to the best of the best in the heavyweight division. He's coming off a fresh knockout victory over Rodrigo Nascimento. Like I said before, this fight can really, really be over in a second. But I'm gonna have to go with the young bull, the new generation of heavyweight, Jonathan Diniz. I think he wins this by knockout, TKO.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think Deniz got this in the bag. I hopefully he doesn't knock out Derek Lewis, but we've seen Derek Lewis, man. Once you get past that power threat, Derek Lewis is gonna quit every time. Once he realizes he can't land that shot, or if he lands that shot and it doesn't affect you, he's gonna quit. Unfortunately, I love Derek, man, but he's just shown that time in, time out for nearly a decade plus at this point. You know what I
I
mean? In the
can't
UFC.
believe I can't believe we're going against the Black Beast, but
It just yeah, man,
stranger things have happened.
it's a new era. All these older guys are losing. Max Bless Holloway, who was Marvin Vittori level
That's,
granite chin,
that
just
never
got
happened,
knocked
right? That
out.
never happened. As far as I'm concerned, that never happened.
Yeah, man. As soon as he got knocked out, somebody hit me with that FBI cheat, and then I forgot all about it. You know what I'm saying?
That
But
Men
yeah,
in
man, I'm
Black.
going with Deniz. He's gonna get the victory over Derek Lewis. He's coming in from the Contender Series. He's looking very good. And then, like you said, man, the heavyweight division, if you're in any kind of shape and you got good jitsu and you got good power on the feet, you can go all the way to a title, let alone the rankings. You could just become a champion. That's all it takes in the heavyweight division. I'm going Deniz. I would love to see Derek Lewis get that upset knockout, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't foresee that happening. But moving on to the co-main event, we got Thug Rose taking on Aaron Blanchfield in the 125-pound division. Thug Rose at 115 strawweight, women's strawweight division is nearly unbeatable. But at 125, we seen she can be beat, man. She lost to Manon Fierro. And before that, she lost her title to Carla Esparza. But her last two fights, she's picking up a decision victory off Amanda Ribas and Tracy Cortez. Pop Cortez's cherry took that all away from
Hey,
her.
yo,
And then Erin Blanchfield, she's coming off a loss to Marin Fito. Common theme is Marin Fito is a beast in the 125-pound division. She beating all these ladies.
next for the title, probably.
Yeah, man. But who you got in this matchup? The odds are nearly even. What do you think?
Hey, listen, man, I don't typically get excited for women's mains or co-mains, but this one right here, I like this fight right here. On one side, we have Aaron Blanchfield was looking like a future champion, and then ran into, like you said, Manon Fior. That was in her hometown too, in New Jersey. I was about to go to that fight too. And then on the other side, the former champ Doug Rose Namajunas. She's quietly been making a run, man, since her snooze fest against Carla Esparza. I think she's on a 2-fight win streak at this point. Aaron Blanchfield needs to turn this one around to make a push for the title because I think she still got it. I think she definitely can be a future champion. But on the other side, man, Doug Rose, she legit can beat any woman on the planet on any given night. She's that good. She's really that good. She's very skilled. But at 125, I like Aaron Blanchfield. I'm gonna have to go with Aaron Blanchfield winning this by decision. I think the wrestling is gonna be too powerful. I think she's gonna be too much for her.
I don't think we've ever seen Rose Namajunas get out grappled like that outside of Carla Esparza. And Carla Esparza has taken down everybody she's fought. You know what I mean? It's not like she has, Carla Esparza is one of the most decorated women's wrestlers we've ever seen in the UFC. So
I
I
just
don't
think
think
that's a weakness. I think wrestling is a weakness for Thug Rose. Like you said, Carla Esparza held her down. That was a snooze fest. So I think Erin Blanchfield, she has the same skills as Carla. So I think, and she might be even better. So I think she definitely got the
Erin Blanchfield's first loss of her career was to Tracy Cortez by, I believe, let me see.
bro.
She
People
lost
sleep
to
on Tracy
Tracy.
Cortez. People sleep on Cortez.
She lost to Tracy Cortez by split decision. That was her first loss in her professional career. And then in the UFC, she just lost in her last fight. That was her first loss in the UFC against Manon. Rose, this, like I said, man, it's very close. Man, I don't know who to pick, man. It's so
I'm gonna
close.
need you to
Rose
get
is,
off that fence, my boy.
yeah, man, straight up. I need to get off this fence. Rose got the edge in the striking. She has the experience. That's two things going for Rose. Erin Blanchfield, she's a little bit bigger. She's the grappler. She has the better grappling. Who has the
You also,
better chin?
she also got the weakness. You
We
got her
haven't
weak.
seen Blanchfield get hurt ever. So she's relatively new. We have seen Namajunas get hurt. Shit, so I'm gonna have to give durability to Blanchfield, man. Just off what we've seen, that's 3-2. I'm going Blanchfield by decision, baby. Yo, man, high
Mm.
level fights call for high level breakdowns. You know what
Low
I'm
key,
saying?
Aaron Blanchfield could be an aura merchant too. Low key.
Yeah, man. I'm going. I'm
We
gonna have
gonna
to
find.
go.
We gonna find out Saturday night.
We gonna find out Saturday night. We gonna find out, and we did find out. You know what I'm saying? We did
We did
find out.
not find out. All right. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, you right, you right. Moving on to the main event of the evening. We have Brandon Moreno. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but
Pero
I promise I'll be champion. I promise. Taking on
yo,
Amir
legendary
Albazi.
speech.
Yo, man, it's a crazy fight in the flyweight division. The Assassin Baby taking on the Prince. Brandon Moreno coming off two losses. He lost that split decision to Royval, and he lost that split decision to the champion Pantoja. Albazi, unblemished in the UFC. He's never lost in the UFC. He's completely no, he has one loss in his career, but in the UFC, he's never lost. Albazi coming in with that 68-inch reach. Moreno with the 70-inch reach. Moreno's 2 inches taller. Moreno is also, believe it or not, a year younger than Albazi, who's the young prospect, quote unquote, coming up. Moreno, it seems like, had a full UFC Hall of Fame career and is only 30 years old, almost 31. A lot of people I feel like are sleeping on Moreno. He's a big underdog in this matchup. What are you thinking? Not a big, but he is minus 150. Oh no, Moreno is the favorite. He's the slight favorite. My bad. I'm taking back all that. Moreno's a slight favorite, but what do you think about this, E? Who you got in
Yeah, it's
this?
crazy. They're only a year apart, but it feels like one is a rookie and one is a vet, right?
Yeah.
Assassin Baby, Brandon Moreno, Amir Albazi. I'm very hyped about this one. The return of Amir Albazi. Finally, man. This is a high level matchup. Moreno, like you said, former champion, fan favorite. And Amir Albazi still has a lot left to prove, man. This guy Moreno never been finished before and has put on banger after banger. Dude just goes to war, man. He went to war with Figgy, Pantoja, Royval, the best of the best in that division. On the other side, Amir Albazi, also undefeated in the UFC, currently 17-1. His last loss came in 2019 by decision. So the dude also has never been finished before, man. You know, these flyweights are just high level mixed martial artists, have insane technique, and the speed is unreal. If you're not watching these fights in slow motion, you're missing a lot of technique, man. Brandon Moreno, slight favorite in this one, and his record speaks for itself. But I'm afraid the dude has just been in too many wars for his own good. You know, the body can only take so much damage. And even though Amir Albazi is a slightly younger fighter, like I said, he's more fresh, hasn't been in the wars like Moreno has. And for that reason only, I'm going to have to go with Amir Albazi to win this by decision. I know this isn't going to be an easy fight because Brandon Moreno has solid takedown defense and it's going to make it a battle on the feet. But I think Amir Albazi is going to push him up against the fence a la Mirab Duvalishvili and hold him there, man. Like just like Mario Batista did, kind of just hold him. It might be even a boring fight for a lot of Brandon Moreno fans. Amir Albazi don't really stand and bang like that, so I see him winning this. You using his grappling, using his aggressiveness. I think he wins this 20, 47, 48, 3 rounds to two. I think he gets this one done, man.
Yeah, man, this is a super close fight. Moreno coming in with a lot of championship experience. I do feel like Moreno has the edge on the feet. He's a super crisp boxer, has a really good jab, and he has good body kicks as well. He can throw kicks for sure. Albazi, on paper, he's coming in with a big advantage on the grappling, but does he really have a big advantage on the grappling? We've seen Brandon Moreno's submission skills against the likes of Figueiredo. We've seen his grappling against the likes of the champ Pantoja. We've seen his scrambles against the likes of one of the craziest fighters in the division in Brandon Royval. Brandon Moreno's the complete package, man. He got everything in his bag. Albazi, on the other hand, is very one dimensional. But that one dimension is super, super strong from Albazi. That grappling. So usually when you have one guy that's good at everything and the other guy that's just super, super good at one thing, the guy who's good at everything wins. But these days in the UFC's climate, these grapplers, man, these grapplers are taking over, man. Doesn't matter how good you are overall. If I got better grappling, I'm gonna win. And Albazi's coming in on plus money, man. You would be a fool not to take that for anybody that's going to bet on this fight. You got an undefeated fighter in the UFC. He's 5-0 in the UFC, never lost in the UFC. Hasn't really had close fights in the UFC apart from Kai Kara France. And he's the underdog. It should be clear. For that reason and that reason alone, I mean, honestly, it's worth it to go with Albazi in this matchup. I think, he's coming in at plus money. He's coming in 5-0 in the UFC. Moreno's coming in off a two-fight losing streak. All that put together, I think it's the perfect win conditions for Amir Albazi, man. There's never been a better time. I do think Brandon Moreno is a very tough fight for Amir Albazi. I don't think it's gonna be a fun fight. Albazi's gonna have to dig deep. He's gonna have to find a lot of heart and get it done. But I do think that grappling advantage is gonna give him the edge in the fight. He's gonna dictate where the fight goes whenever he wants it to go somewhere. Give me your thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, man, I think Amir Albazi, younger, less wars, body still fresh. You know what I'm saying? He can go through those wars. I don't think Brandon
Yeah.
Moreno is capable of that anymore. The body can only take so much, man. You can only be in so many battles before your body starts to deteriorate.
Yeah, man. Albazi is a year older. He's slightly older than Moreno, but he's younger in the game. He's taking less damage in the game. Moreno is 30. He's not that old, but he's an old ass 30 years old, man. He's a lot like Max Holloway. Max Holloway's 32, but he's a super old 32, man. These guys have been in the game for a long time, been doing it against everybody forever. Amir Albazi's coming in with that super confidence, man. That Elia Toptoro energy, man. He's coming in with that super confident, undefeated, undisputed Khabib Nurmagomedov type energy, man. When you never lost, it's hard to imagine yourself
Hmm.
losing. That
Yeah,
reason,
losing is a
about
habit. Losing is a habit. Once
yeah,
once you kind of start, it just starts when it rains,
brother
it
Rob,
pours.
brother Rob knows how to lose. We do not. Hamzat Chimaev, 2024, man. So that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to Amir Albazi, man. He just doesn't know how to lose, man, in the UFC. So I'm going to Amir Albazi.
Man, if y'all liking these predictions, man, I want y'all to like, subscribe, tune in. Last fight, I went 10-2, and we've been plus 500 on most of these predictions, man. Y'all gotta tune in, check us out, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and that's Full Guard MMA. We out.
Peace.